Welcome back to Facing the Fury. When bad weather strikes, a lot of people are going to need help. If you are one of them or know someone who needs special assistance, pay attention. Here's some very important information. 97-year-old Manuel Garcia and his wife have lived in this Weslaco neighborhood since the 1970s. On a stormy night in June, it wasn't a hurricane, but intense thunderstorms that awakened them.
We already have flood advisories in effect for much of Hidalgo County, Cameron County, and Williston County, and we just got
el agua como a las 4 de la mañana, oían los truenos y los relámpagos, pero pues no, pues nomás así, pues yo estaba acostado en la cama y mi señora y luego, que sé que yo sentí una cosa que cayó así, pero cayó agua en la cara mía y luego cuando de rato me fui a andar donde metí estaba la cama entre el agua y adentro ya, y entonces donde eso yo no, pues ya me daba el agua aquí.
Their house was being overcome by floodwaters and they needed to be rescued.
No se podía, nosotros estábamos parados aquí para allá nada, porque nos daba el agua aquí. Y hasta que vino una lancha.
For people like Garcia, there is the State of Texas Emergency Assistance Registry, or STEER. STEER is part of the Texas 211 program and helps inform local emergency managers in times of evacuation. The state encourages people with disabilities to register, as well as individuals with access and functional needs such as limited mobility, communication barriers, need additional medical assistance during an emergency event, require transportation assistance, or require personal care assistance. You can register at steer.dps.texas.gov by calling 211 or use your video phone relay option of choice to contact 211. STEER does not guarantee that you will receive specific services during an emergency, but it does help let emergency management know who may need special assistance. STEER is free and available in both English and Spanish. Martin Casas utilizes the service for his nursing home residents.
For us, it's helpful because we can always reach out to them and say, hey, I've got 20 residents that I need to relocate to Kingsville. What buildings in that area, nursing homes, have beds available? And they'll tell us.
Valley Grande Manor keeps a disaster plan ready in case any of its 105 residents need evacuation.
We update it yearly, make sure everything's still current, anything that's changed, let them know or fill out that form.
If you are evacuated during a flood and need medical care, Valley hospitals are ready, including the McAllen Medical Center.
We start educating our staff on the response plan in May, every May, and we make sure that our fuel tanks, again, are topped off, all our oxygen is topped off in May. And we check every month to make sure that we're constantly ready throughout the hurricane season, because we know that's one of the biggest risks in this geographical area. We encourage our patients when they check in to sign up with the 211 system. Yes, if they need any assistance outside of here.
Last year when Hurricane Michael hit Florida, catastrophic winds came onshore. The National Weather Service had to issue a very rare extreme wind warning. Meteorologist Matt Holliner has a look at what you should do if you find yourself under a similar warning.
Extreme wind warnings are issued when hurricane-force winds of 115 miles per hour or greater are expected. Josh Morganman went through these conditions in Hurricane Michael.
It was almost like a tornado passing. You know, the wind just cranked and it got crazy, and then there were all these crashing sounds. The whole front of the hotel just like blew away, all this flying wreckage, and it was as soon as the wreckage started to settle, the sun started coming out because we were getting in the eye, and it was just, it all happened very fast.
So should an extreme wind warning be issued for your area, what should you do? Well, the #1 rule is you've got to take shelter indoors, but where you take shelter indoors does matter. You don't want to take shelter on the 2nd or 3rd floor. The higher up you go, the more likely wind damage is. You want to make sure you take shelter on the lowest floor. If you have a basement, that's great. Otherwise, the 1st floor of your home. Now, what that means is if you live in an apartment complex like this, you got to get to know your neighbors on the 1st floor, because that's where you're going to be taking shelter. So once you're inside, the goal is to put as many walls between you and the outside of your home as possible. You want to take shelter in the most centralized location of your home and make sure it's a space without windows. So an interior hallway, not a bad option, but what's even better is an interior closet, or what's best, an interior bathroom. And why an interior bathroom? Because you can get one added layer of protection by climbing into the bathtub. There's your one added layer. Now, once you're in the bathtub, what you want to do is minimize your body space. You want to make yourself as small as possible and protect your head. So curl yourself into a ball, cover your head and neck, and reduce your space as much as possible. In fact, what's even better than just covering your head with your hands is even throwing on a helmet. And once the hurricane passes, be careful as you venture out.
A lot of deaths in a hurricane happen after the hurricane passes. So yeah, there are many hazards. I mean, electrocution is one of the main ones. Absolutely, you gotta just don't go anywhere near live wires, and don't go near fallen trees because there could be wires tangled around in those.
One other thing to remember is that a mobile home or trailer is not a safe place to take shelter during a hurricane. If you live in one and an extreme wind warning is issued, get out, get in your car, and get to the nearest permanent building as quickly as possible. When we come back, a reminder that it doesn't take a hurricane or even a tropical storm to cause serious weather problems in the valley. A reminder we should always be ready. And we'll go over your emergency supplies checklist and have the forecast for the 2019 hurricane season. Don't go away.
Facing the Fury is supported in part by Aztec House Leveling and Remodeling.